So in this video, we're going to talk about, can you start and get into a good company in remote sales as a complete beginner? I'm going to go ahead and firstly say, yes, you can. But there are things that you're going to have to showcase because this is what companies are looking for. And if you can't showcase these things, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to land a solid role. Because at the end of the day, remote sales, aside from whatever marketing might have promised you, is not this quick, get rich quick, side hustle thing that you can do with low effort on the side, barely having any skills. Or, they'll say like build the one skill, but the one skill is a difficult skill to learn, and it encompasses a lot of other skills to actually be good at it. So I want to preface this by saying remote sales is not this easy, quick thing where you can come in and make 10, 20, 30K plus a month without dedicating serious effort and time and focus into the craft, just like any other career path that you'd go down where you can earn a high income. It's highly paid for a reason. Let's just say that. So the first thing you want to realize is companies need proof. The best offers are investing an exorbitant amount of funds to fill your calendar as a closer, to provide you leads as an appointment setter. And we're talking about the offers you want, the offers you're looking for, the offers with great marketing, good systems behind them. They're booking calls into your calendar. They've got tons of leads for you to dial and set your own appointments if you want, or if you're an appointment setter, dial and set appointments with leads that are actually somewhat nurtured. The marketing targeted the right people that are looking for what you have to offer. Those offers, it's expensive. Those leads, it's expensive. Those calls, and if you have no proof that you can sell, why would a company invest money to fill your calendar? To fill a closer's calendar for a week can cost thousands of dollars. Would you invest thousands of dollars to fill your own calendar for the chance to, you know, close those deals? If you're not confident in that, then you should ask, why would a business owner be? So proof you can sell. People will say, oh, it's paradoxical. How can I prove I can sell if I can't get a role? That's where other things come into play. One, role plays. You hear me talk about it tons of times on this channel, is build a proper portfolio and actually do the work to build a good one. Don't just do a bunch of role plays, send companies, send business owners hour, 2 hour long, you know, random stuff. Build a proper portfolio as if you were an artist showcasing their work, showcasing their craft. Cut out snippets, cut out parts showing how you'd handle objections, how you'd pitch services, how you do these different, how you'd conduct different aspects of the call, and prove that you understand how to sell, how to set, how to do these things. If you can't prove it through experience, you have to prove it in some way. That's why some people join programs, get courses, all of that stuff. And they're helpful for sure. Having different coaches that you've worked with and stuff like that, it's helpful. It's only as helpful as the business owner's belief in whoever that person is, right? So if that business owner is like, oh, I really like XYZ trainer, I see that you have them on your resume, cool. I like their ideology, I like their sales style, awesome. So it can help in that way. Um, but I would say proof is much better. And you have to go and sometimes you can, if you don't have a ton of role plays, just your level of confidence in these interviews to prove yourself will speak volumes, because that's a lot of communication. Anytime you say anything with ton of confidence, people naturally believe you more, right? Even if you're saying foolishness, right? So I've had one rep that I was coaching, and what he would do, and he would like any interview he got, he would get the offer pretty much. Even though he had like almost no remote sales experience, but he would get the offer almost any interview he did. And the reason why, it was because he went on there with an insane amount of confidence to say, listen, test, just test me. Let's do a role play. We'll do it right now. I'll show you my objection handling. I'll show you how I pitch. I'll show you how I do discovery. Just test me. Like, let's do it. Right. And they did. They tested him. They liked him, and they brought him on. So again, If you don't have the role plays, if you don't have the portfolio, if you don't, just find some way to prove you can sell. Some other people do this by taking on a company's old leads. So especially if you have a company with, like, it's a big company, they don't want to risk, giving you, like, they say they like you, but you just don't have the experience, don't have the track record. They don't want to risk giving you leads that they pay for. Again, you can do that kind of like test me bravado and be like, listen, I know you've got old leads in the system that nobody's dialing anymore that you've given up on. Test me. Give me a batch of those. I'll go through them. I'll set some appointments. I'll close some deals. And then you can put me on the fresh leads when I show you that I can close deals. Test me. Again, proof that you can sell. Come in with that confidence. It'll take you very, very far when it comes to passing interviews and landing offers. Another thing, the second one is just coming in with a level of seriousness for this type of work. Business owners want to see that this is something you're actually looking to do as a career, because a lot of people are coming in, and this comes down to the professionalism they show in their setup, right? If you don't have a dedicated space for it, it will be hard to land, especially some of those better B2B offers, because you don't look like you're taking the job seriously. It doesn't look like it's a side thing for you if you're just taking your calls from the couch, or you're jumping on interviews in your kitchen or something like that. If you don't have a dedicated space, and when I say dedicated space, I don't mean go buy an office, go buy a house with an extra room so you can set up an office, but make it, you can fake it till you make it. You can set up a corner, even if it's in your kitchen, kind of just like angle the camera, play with this box that you have, zoom in a little bit so it's only like this big, and just find a blank wall in your house. Instead of putting the desk at the wall and having your whole house behind you, pull it out from the wall, get behind it, put up like a nice picture frame on the left, maybe put a plant on the right, and just set up like a little corner, set up a little wall that makes it look on camera like you've got a dedicated space for this. Don't come in with a blurry camera. Don't use your built-in, this is like my built-in webcam. Don't use your built-in webcam. Use a proper one. Doesn't need to be the most expensive thing. Just get a proper 1080p 4K camera. Get a proper mic so that you sound clear. Again, if you don't come in with dedicated space and equipment, you just, they'll see that you don't actually take this with any degree of seriousness. And why would they bring you on to a role where they've got to invest thousands of dollars into you if there's no seriousness, and if you haven't even invested anything into yourself and your presentation, right? At the end of the day, it's like it's like showing up to say I want to be a pro soccer player, and you show up with no cleats, like, or your cleats are falling off, right? Show up with no shin pads. At the end of the day, show up like this is your job, this is your career, you're a professional. And lastly, you will land a lot more roles if you come with an understanding of that industry. A lot of reps would benefit from picking a handful of, maybe less, like one or two niches that it can be broad ones. It can be overarching niches like personal development, fitness, marketing, business. Like, you can pick overall broad niches, but it'll be a lot easier for you to land a role if you go with what you know, go with what you have experience in. If you're coming from a corporate job, if you're coming from some other type of work, some other industry, what parts of that industry could you take and showcase to a business owner that you have an understanding? Like how could you do the same industry? So for example, if you're coming from like and being an accountant, go sell a finance offer. If you're a real estate agent right now and you're trying to get into remote sales, go sell a real estate coaching program or something. If you're a personal trainer, go sell a fitness program. Like, you know what I mean? Pick an industry that you already have an understanding in, so that when you're in the interview, you can prove not only that you can sell, but prove that you have an understanding of the prospects, and you can speak their lingo. You can talk to them. You can speak to them at a higher level of understanding because you come from that industry. Business owners aren't just looking for guys that know how to do the objection handling kind of word tracks and scripts. They also want someone who can act as an advisor for the people in front of them, because that's what these prospects are looking for when they get on the call. They're expecting you to have a really good understanding of the industry, a good understanding of what it is they should be doing next, because you're there to be a problem solver. You're there to hear people say, this is the industry I'm in, this is the work I do, this is my struggles with it. Doctor, I need you to diagnose and tell me what direction to go in. That's your job. You're a doctor trying to diagnose problems. And if you're coming in being like, I know how to ask you for the sale, but I have no idea what I'm selling and to any degree of depth. I just know that if you need help in a general way with this thing, you should buy this. It's not going to be enough for a lot of offers, especially not enough. You'll be able to close deals. You'll be able to close 10, 20%, maybe 30% with good marketing, but you're going to struggle when it comes to having goals of making 15, 20, 30K plus a month. If you really want to reach the heights of this, you got to also bring some industry expertise and knowledge, especially when it comes to selling B2B offers, which is where a lot of good money is at as well. So those three things, make sure you have it in your repertoire if you are looking to get into this industry. If you are a beginner, especially, find ways to prove you can sell. Bring the proper equipment, showcase you have a level of, you know, seriousness about getting into this industry, and pick a niche when you're applying. Go for niches that you have an understanding of. I'm not saying you only have to apply to those, but if you're going to do the extra work, reaching out directly to business owners, content people, probably start there so that you can get in and start to build your track record, then transition into niches that you're maybe more interested in or more want to get into afterward. Hopefully that helps. You guys.